First, I'd like to share our founder Shinran Shonin's words from a preface of Kyogyo Shinshu. And please, in English, please put your palms together. 偶然のご縁、多少にももう愛がたく、真実の上心、国交にも得がたし、たまたま良心を得ば、遠く祝宴を喜べと。Hard to encounter, even in many lifetimes, is the decisive cause of birth, Amira's universal path. Hard to realize, even in myriads of kalpas, is pure Shinji, that is true and real. If you should come to realize this practice and Shinji, rejoice at the conditions from the distant past that have brought it about. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Butsu. Namo Butsu. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to today's Sunday service. And I hope you are having the good beginning of the holiday season. We had a family friend from Sacramento, and the friend's children and my children get along really well. We had a fun time, this past week. And I don't know how many people watches the FIFA World Cup, but since I wake up around 5:30 every morning, I watch most of the games on TV in the morning. And on Tuesday, I woke up around 4:50 a.m. To watch Japan against Germany. And I was so surprised and excited to see Japan winning against Germany. And this morning, I woke up around 1:50 a.m. To watch the game from 2 a.m. and it was Japan against Costa Rica. And it was so shocking to see Japan lose against Costa Rica. Right? So, it was kind of sad that, next game is December 1st. It's from 11 a.m. So I will have to wake up early. But, Japan is having a match against Spain. So Spain is a really good team. So I don't know how Japan is going to play. But, it's a really fun time to watch, football or soccer. And while watching the game, I noticed some of Japanese players bow to the field when they leave the field. And actually, many Japanese martial arts begins with the bow when they enter the dojo and bow when they leave the dojo. Right? And this is to express our gratitude and respect to predecessors for the knowledge and techniques which we are now being able to learn at the dojo. And also the dojo itself for allowing us to practice there. So the soccer players bowing to the field must be the same feeling. Without opponent team and teammates, they could not play the game. And without soccer field and stadium, they could not play soccer. So bowing to the field is expressing appreciation, gratitude, and respect to the people who are involved in making the match available. And also every time we have a soccer game, many media talks about how Japanese supporters and the national team don't make a mess when they leave. Right? The team clean up the locker room, and they even leave the origami crane. And supporters collect the trash at the stadium when they leave the stadium. And there's a Japanese saying, "Tatsutori hato wo nigosazu." I couldn't find a good English translation, but it said it's close to this saying in English. It's an ill bird that fouls its own nest. It's an ill bird that fouls its own nest. And, I don't think there is an exact translation of this saying. But a bird don't leave a nest when they leave, right? The bird don't leave a nest when they leave. And I was always told from my parents and teachers to think everywhere as my home. So, do you throw garbage in your home? Do you throw your garbage at your home? Do You do? I hope you know, right? We are, not claiming to show off how good people Japanese are, but, we are following the spirit of this saying and expressing our gratitude to the place by cleaning the place. So, it is the same to the temple too. We bow the temple and bow again when we leave. We are expressing our respect to the teaching and appreciation to the Buddha, teachers, predecessors, and the place itself. Without Amida's primal vow, without Shakyamuni expounding the teaching of the larger sutra, without the guidance of the seven Pyalan masters, Prince Shotoku, Shinran Shonin, and Rennyo Shonin, without predecessors, we are not able to be here today to listen to the teaching here in Portland and online. And when we think about these karmic conditions which brought us to be here today, we cannot help but feel appreciation for these karmic conditions which brought us here today. So, Shinran Shonin said, or hard to encounter, even in many lifetimes, is the decisive cause of birth, Amida's universal vow. Hard to realize, even in myriads of kalpas, is pure shinji, that is true and real. If you should come to realize this practice and shinji, rejoice at the conditions from the distant past that have brought it about. So, that is true that we made a choice to attend the service today, but actually, it was the nurturing working of Amida Buddha and our predecessors to listen to the teaching, listen to the Dharma. And we are brought to be here today through countless conditions and causes and conditions. Thinking about myself, even though I received ordination at the age of 16, I did not want to be a Buddhist priest. So I spent most of my 20s playing music and working at the different places. But here I am standing in front of you or front of the Sangha members and talking about the Dharma. So even though my experience in the band or working at the 7-Eleven or izakaya restaurant or moving company do not directly relate to being a Buddhist priest, when I look back my past, I can now think that these experiences nurtured me to be a Buddhist priest and appreciate the teaching of Nembutsuge. So I have shared Kakehashi Sensei's words before, but Kakehashi Sensei said something like, 過去は変えられんけど、過去の意味は変えられる. We cannot change the past, but we can change the meaning of the past. So we all had good or bad experiences in the past. The fact that things happen cannot change, but we can change the meaning of it. Sometimes I still feel disappointed that I was not successful in the music. But the experience of playing music in the band now helps me to share the Dharma. And my experience of working at the 7-Eleven or moving company nurtured me to be patient. And, experience at the izakaya restaurant is a good tool to connect with the Sangha members, right? One year, one of the raffle prize at the, Obon festival was to experience cooking with me, right? So it was fun, cooking with one of the Sangha members. But, so, I cannot change my past, but I can change the meaning of the past. And now, I really appreciate all the experiences from the distant past which brought me to be here today. So, when I come to the temple, either Portland or Sacramento, I start with bowing to the temple, light up incense, and chant sutra. And this is how I express my appreciation to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And when I leave the temple, I bow again for alignment to share and listen to the teaching together with Sangha members. So, I hope today's my talk will be helpful to remind you of the karmic conditions which brought you to be here today, and how we express our gratitude to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So I'd like to conclude my talk with the playing of music. I don't know back there if you see my bass guitar today, but I'd like to share a song titled Ano Koroe, to those days by Anzen Chitai. And Anzen Chitai was one of my mother's favorite bands. I am sure that many people have felt like, oh, I wish I could go back to that time, right? At least once in a lifetime. But as Kakehashi Sensei said, we cannot change the past, but we can change the meaning of the past. And we are nurtured by the karmic conditions from the distant past to listen to the teaching of Nembutsuge here and now. So I hope everybody enjoys the music too.